Hey, it's Mark Linear with your video thought for the day. 44 minutes. 44 minutes is how long a typical 1 hour television drama show has of actual show, as apart from commercials and things like that. That means in 44 minutes, your brain and mind from watching TV, if no other place, has been trained to think you can have massive, insurmountable problems and they get figured out and they get solved in most shows in 44 minutes. Is it any wonder that when life throws us horrendous circumstances, that we struggle to find God, and we struggle to find meaning, and we struggle to find purpose, and we struggle to find, for some, even the will to live? Because we've been taught subconsciously that even the biggest problems can be resolved in 44 minutes. I think oftentimes we forget what kind of world God says we live in. God created a utopia, Eden, placed man and woman in that, and life was good. He said, you've got all these freedoms, you've got all these opportunities, you've got all these marvelous things to do. I've got one restriction. Don't eat of my tree over here. And Adam and Eve decided that instead of enjoying the good life, they would rebel against God, and cheat and steal and thieve and try to become something more than God made them to be. And with sin comes horrible consequences. It's a fact. I mean, if you stick your hand in fire, you're going to get burned. Don't blame God for that. That's the way the world is. That's the way reality is. In the same way, if you're going to sin, you're going to bring bad consequences on. And so when Adam and Eve sinned, God put an explanation of what was going to unfold as a result. God said even joyous events, which they would have, childbirth. Hard to find anything more joyful than having a child, maybe a grandchild. They're close first and second. But even that joyous occasion would be accompanied by pain and travail, God says. And there's a lot of joy in eating and food and raising your own crops and all, but gardening. But God said even that is going to be done amidst thorns and thistles. Sin brought about a condition of humanity that is not what God intended. And as a result, there is pain, there is evil, there is a disharmony, there is suffering in this world. And the promise, the glorious promise of God is not to leave it this way, but at the end of days to make things right. But right now we live in a war zone. And so it's not surprising that there are psalms that are called Psalms of Lament, where the psalmist is crying out to God. We're 1 week from the anniversary of the Uvalde tragedy. And you look at a psalm like Psalm 13, and it's a very fitting lament. The psalmist says, how long, O Lord? Will you forget me forever? Have you disappeared? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? And these are raw, real emotions being expressed. But even in this short lamenting psalm, as the psalmist says, consider and answer me, O Lord my God. Please give me some response. Light up my eyes lest I sleep the sleep of death, the psalmist says. The psalm ends with verse 5, this very short verse. But the verse is important. The psalmist says, I have trusted in your steadfast love, your chesed, your kindness, your covenant loyalty, and my heart will rejoice in your salvation. And the psalmist is okay to cry out to God, God, this is horrible. This is terrible. And I feel like I'm going to die over this. I feel like you've just ignored me and forgot me. I can't find you right now. But I can still live by faith and trust that you've promised to bring all of this to an end in a way that restores for your people the glory that you wanted them to have. And in the meantime, we can know that you are still fighting a fight on our behalf and urging us to fight it on behalf of others. So we'll try to do the best we can. We'll cry out to God in pain and misery, but we'll do it in faith, knowing that God is at the end of that road, at the end of every road. So it's a psalm of lament, a kind of psalm, and it's your video thought for the day.